And I just wanted to kind of introduce Lauren. She is one of Micah's coaches. She is 1 star, correct? Yeah, 1 star. She lives way back east, so it's kind of late for her. So thanks for hopping on. But I met her, I think, the first time at a retreat, and it was the one up in like in Utah. I think Diana was that one, as it was that at that one also. And she's probably one of the nicest people you'd ever meet. So she's just going to kind of talk to us. You guys, if you have questions about anything specific, just write it in the chat. And then at the end, obviously, we can just unmute and talk. So Lauren, maybe start a little bit with like your story, why you're doing this, and then you can go into what you're wanting to talk about.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm super excited. Let's see, I started coaching it's been about 3.5 years, which is super crazy. I was a person who just wanted to lose 10 pounds. That's all I wanted. And I kept seeing this amazing woman pop up in my feed that had this incredible story and had all this stuff, and she just kept popping up. And I just kept thinking, like, I need to just try one more thing. Just going to try one more thing, and maybe this will be it. And so I went ahead and tried it, and I did not see the results in the beginning because I didn't do it. Like, I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, I kind of did it here or there, drank my shake like maybe once a week. I mean, it was just terrible. But my coach, Micah, just kept coming to me and saying, how are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? She was just so consistent in her belief and in her kindness and in her love for me. It was just incredible. And I didn't know anyone like that ever existed, to have someone just like constantly believe in me. But I also loved it because she kind of like held my feet to the fire. She's like, okay, girl, this is what you wanted. These are the reasons you wanted to lose the 10 pounds. You wanted to do this. Why aren't you doing it? And I was kind of like, what? Like, is she really calling me out on this? Like, it was crazy, but I needed that. And she checked in with me every so often and kept me encouraged and kept showing me belief that I could do something that I didn't believe in myself. And that's kind of where it started. She followed my journey. She knew I had bigger goals. She knew I wanted to do more. But that was through conversation. That was through finding out who I was, what I was about, my family and stuff like that, and realized that I could do something because she saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself. And so that was super exciting. So she finally said to me, okay, Lauren, I'll tell you what, totally quit if this isn't going to be it, but do it for 21 days. Like, completely jump in for 21 days, and I promise you're going to find results. And if you don't find results, I'll totally leave you be. Like, you do your thing. I'll just support you. We'll just be friends, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay. And she pretty much was like, you owe it to yourself. So I jumped all in for 21 days. Like, I was involved in the group. I read my personal development. I did everything I could. And I lost like 8 pounds. And during that time, I just kept watching and like friending more people and just getting involved in it. And I was like, these women are freaking amazing. Like, I didn't even know women out there even existed like this. I was the type of woman that struggled all my life with my weight, struggled all my life with my confidence. I struggled all my life with belief in myself. And I just didn't know that there was much more out there for me. And I was just living this life as a mom with 2 young kids. I was just tired all the time. I couldn't find time to do anything. I didn't even know that you could even make time for yourself. I fell into the rut of, well, I'm just busy. Like, I don't have time to do anything. And seeing all these women out there just like crushing their journey and crushing life and so full of energy, I was like, I want to be them. So anyway, it was just amazing. And here I am 3.5 years later. I would have never in a million years told you 3.5 years ago, I'm going to be a coach. I'm going to be like full bleeding blue for Beachbody, like cheering people on in an auditorium, have all these amazing friends, believe that I can create my own world, confident when I walked out the door. I never had that in my life ever. And so what this company and what these tools have done for me is just blown me away. I just think it's just amazing, because you just take this Midwestern girl who didn't know that there was anything out there like it. And like, honestly, like that first retreat, I came home and I was telling my husband, I'm like, this is like real. Like, these people are real. Like, and they were really nice to me. And I walked in the door, the scared woman, not knowing anybody. And I left there with friends for life that now I can't imagine I being without them.
No, I
So
love that, Lauren. I wanted to I think people need to remember that waiting to actually coach when you have the confidence, when you believe in yourself, that's never going to come.
yeah,
And you have to just go through the process and do it along the way. And you just get that confidence as you do the hard things, do the super uncomfortable things, and having people that say you can do it. I mean, Micah was the same way with me. She believed in me by far, way before I ever believed in myself. And so you guys need to do that for your coaches. Pour
yeah,
that into them, because they don't have it at the beginning. They don't. But this is something that you need to honestly look and focus on people's potential, and just keep focusing on that, and just keep reminding them of how awesome people are. People just don't know. So
yeah.
I love that you talked about that.
Yeah. And one thing Micah always talks about is dropping or sprinkling drops of awesomeness all over. Like, I didn't really understand what that meant, like, in the beginning. And now it's just just sending positive vibes. That's my lingo. I'm a big voice messenger. I send people positive vibes all the time, sending them love, sending them prayers, positive vibes. Girl, I'm here for you. I'm cheering you on 100%. Just hearing that, I think, sometimes makes people like, oh my gosh, there's somebody out there that really does care about what I'm posting or what I'm doing, or, anything like that. Even if it's like mom struggles, like work struggles, maybe it's just like having a bad day, or maybe it's even like amazing things that are happening and you're still sending them positive vibes. Like, that's really important. I just think that's super crazy. And when I think about the girl that walked in that retreat in Utah and who I am today, like, two totally different women. And like Cozy said, like, honestly, just don't worry about when I get there, I can do it then. Like, that's total BS. You have to work on it every day and show up where you're at, because somebody is going to relate to where you're at. Like, even when I walked in that retreat that day, I was like, I don't even really belong here. Like, I haven't even lost enough weight. Like, I've still got so much more to go on my journey. Like, who's going to be there to watch me, and who's going to want to see me, and who's going to want to follow me? Everything I built to be my diamond was literally like mainly family, and then like friends, and most of them aren't even with me anymore, you guys. So honestly, like, I was like people I didn't even really know very well. And now I think about who my tribe is now, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so different. But that's what happens, so just believe in where you're at today and tell your story, and don't hesitate to do that, because people need to hear where you're at, and they love to see what you're doing on your journey too. So what I wanted to kind of talk about today was tips for the working mom. And really, this kind of goes into anybody. As I was kind of doing it, that's kind of how I started. But I just think that no matter, take the word working and take it out, right? And put in busy, put in stay-at-home mom. Because honestly, stay-at-home moms, I give you so much credit. I don't know how you do it. Like, for especially with ones with little ones, like, you are working way harder than me, I think, sometimes, when I'm working a full-time job. Working at home moms, insert anything, right? Busy college student, full-time working woman, whatever it is, insert that for tips for busy life. Because no matter where you're at, we are all busy. Our days are filled to the brim with everything, because I think just as women in general, we try to add in as much as we possibly can in the day. But when I started, these were some of the things that kind of stopped me. These were some of the barriers where I'm like, there's no way I can pass these. And I kind of want to share with you some of the tips that I've learned over the course of the years to kind of help me work not only a full-time job, and I don't just work an 8 to 5 job. I work in outreach. So some days I start at 7, some days I go till 8, some days I work on Saturdays. It's a crazy lifestyle. So, but these are things that have helped me kind of grow, or that I've learned as I've been growing. Number one, because you're going to hear this a lot, I don't have enough time, right? We all, and I don't know how you were, but when Micah approached me in the beginning, that was my biggest thing. I'm like, well, I don't have any time to do that. Like, when could I possibly fill my day to coach? Like, I didn't even know really what that even meant. But so yeah, so I was the queen of this. This is just the way it goes. So there's just a few things that you want to make sure that you prioritize, and you're going to hear this on national wake-up calls. You're going to hear this on team calls. You're going to hear this on everybody. But you have to prioritize. Take inventory of your day and figure out where you're spending your time. You're going to find that when you think you might be doing the dishes, and you stop because you get a notification on your phone. You're like, oh, so-and-so posted on Facebook. Oh, that's cute. 20 minutes later, you're going back to doing what you're doing, right? You go on there to, I don't know, like it's this way now, but sometimes I'll be like, oh, I need to add that to my Target list. And then I'll go into Target and I'll be like, oh, what's on the weekly ad? And then, you know what I mean? Like all these things like start to snowball. Honestly, like if you are not working, stay off your phone, only do what you need to do when you focus on it. Prioritize and calendar your day. So I use the Rise Up Planner, but it doesn't matter what you do. Honestly, get a planner that kind of breaks down your hours so you know exactly what you need to do. And honestly, I would put in there, put in a little bit of time for yourself to be like, I'm going to catch up on Riverdale right here, or I'm going to do my Target shopping here, because that way, then I can stay off my phone. I can stay off the TV, because you're going to prioritize when that you're going to put that in after you get done all your activities that you need to do. Work out or figure out your work schedule with your family. I prioritize my schedule with my husband every Sunday. We know exactly what needs to be done. We know who needs to pick up kids, where they need to go, what meetings he has, what calls I have. So like tonight, he knew I had a call. So he made sure by the time I got back from taking my daughter to dance, he had dinner ready. We had dinner together. And we were able to eat together. And then when I got off, he wished me good luck, gave me a high five, and he's like, go rock it. And so I was able to come upstairs, get my stuff ready to go, and get on the call. And then my son is like ready for when my call's done, and I'll have some time with him. And utilize your pockets of time. So when I took my daughter to dance, we had an hour, and I got most of my invites in, a lot of my connections in. I got a lot of that done while I was sitting in the dance studio. Instead of driving up there and driving back, I just utilize the time that's there. And really just look for those little spots that you have in your schedule that you can do stuff. So like, okay, some of this is going to sound crazy, but you can always find small pockets. And I am the queen of the 10 pocket rule, the 10-minute pocket rule. I will find 10 minutes all the time. So when I'm out waiting for my son's bus to come, he's usually on his phone watching TV. We chat a little bit, and I'm posting up on my group. I do that really quick. I'll do it on my lunch break. I don't always get a lunch break, so that's really hard, but I know I'm going to at least eat for 10 to 15 minutes because that's how long it takes me to eat. So while my food's heating up, I'll do 3 quick connections. They're just super simple little things, but they will start to add up. And sometimes I'll break down invites and connections in like groups or pockets of either 3 or 5. So invites, my goal is to hit 10 to 15 a day. So I'll do it in pockets of 3. So that way I kind of know how many times I did it. Same way with my connects. I'll do them in pockets of 5. When I'm in the bathroom, I know it sounds terrible, but honestly, when I go in the bathroom, I do a few connections there. Takes me a few minutes to have to take care of what I have to take care of. Sporting events, we do it that way. Car line, car rides, if my husband's driving, I'll just say, give me 15 minutes, and I'll do that while we're driving somewhere, and the kids are pretty reasonable with that too. But you have to figure out what works for you. Voice messages, I'm just going to be honest, voice messages are legit the best, exactly. I'm huge with voice messages, so when I walk my dog at night, I'll catch up on messages then. When I'm in the car, if I know that there's specific people I need to message, I'll voice message them there. It doesn't take any time, and I don't really have to focus on what I'm doing. And I do a lot of it in that regards too. So sometimes in the mornings, I'll do those, or on my drives to and from work, I'll do those too. Those completely save my life. Another big barrier that I always hit was, how can I run my house and my work and my kids' life and still run a part-time business? And so for me, it's just prioritizing what you want in life, prioritizing what you need to do. And that's when your calendar is going to come into place. Honestly, be consistent on your journey, because when you realize and you're consistent on your journey, and I never took stock in this, and it finally hit me one day. Micah used to talk about, like, if you're consistent on your journey, you're going to be consistent in your business. And that is so 100% true. And I used to be like, well, I can rock my business and still kind of, be okay on my nutrition. No, you just start to get lackadaisical. So be consistent on everything that you're doing, because it's going to help you. And when you have those consistent habits, things start to build on each other, right? Like, you want to be seeing the consistent weight loss. You want to see the consistent, I can do 5 more burpees than I could do when I first started. Like, what did I do today? And I can't remember what workout it was. I think it was like Fight Club. And there was like one move, I'm like, man, I couldn't even do this when I started, right? Consistency, like, we're just doing it every day, and you're going to get stronger every day. One of the big things I thought and was a barrier for me was, it's now about them. It's no longer about me, meaning my kids. That right there, I just want you to stop for a second and think again. It's not about you, it's about them. Girlfriend, you have to take care of you in order to take care of them. And that was something that was super much, it was just a huge barrier for me. Like, I didn't understand that for so long, because I didn't take care of myself. I did everything for them. And so I know you've all heard this a million times. If you have a vase filled with flowers that you get from the florist, you fill it with water, you put food in it, and if you don't take care of it, the water starts to dwindle down and your flowers start to wilt. But if you're taking care of your flowers and you're filling in with water and you're putting in food, they just start to grow and grow and grow, and they're able to bless everything around you. And you want to fill your cup up so full so that the people around you are able to reap the benefits of your overflow. And so that way you are still filled and you're pouring out to others. Like, that was one of the biggest, like, aha moments ever, that you have to take the time for you. You have to figure out when. And I remember when I was starting 80 Day, and I was like, these workouts are like an hour. There's no way. Like, how am I going to get a workout in an hour? Like, that's crazy. Where am I going to find the time? When you prioritize and you make the time, it falls in line. So you just have to figure out what it is. And I'm telling you, your energy, your patience, your stress levels, it's all going to relate to everybody around you, and your family's going to benefit from them. And the other thing I want to say from that too is, this probably hit me about a year ago in my journey, that I used to say all the time, because I really did think, like, my dreams and my goals were no longer valid. I needed to focus on them. My kids can't learn how to dream. They can't learn how to be consistent. They can't learn how to stick to anything if I'm not there to show them, right? Like, we're there to show them how to help them in school and how to, all these different things as parents we do. But if I am not showing them that I can still be 42 years old and still going after my dreams, that I can still be learning, that I can still be growing, that I can still be healthy, they're never going to learn that. All they're going to learn from me is that when I'm that age and when I'm at that point, life's going to be tiring, and you're going to have no energy, and mom's just going to run me everywhere, and that's just the way it goes. And that was one of the things that hit me, and I don't even remember what book I read it in, but I was like, holy cow, I have to show this to my kids, right? So no matter what your goals are, show them that you can still do that. So that was a huge one for me. I just know that, so those are just some of the barriers I wanted to share with you and how I kind of combat them. I just finished reading The Slight Edge again. I hadn't read it since, in the beginning. And I'll be honest, when I first read it, I don't really know if I even took stock into really what a lot of it was about, just because I wasn't there. Yeah, I know, Diana, you're going to read it. It's so good again, right? Like, you always pick up stuff every time you read it. And this one just really hit home with me because it just talks about that power of consistency and the power of the small changes you can make every day. They add up. That compound effect is so true because it builds your momentum, it builds your energy, it creates that just that fire inside you. So this is why I kind of love voice messages, because I honestly, like, I pace around my office and I voice message people back because I can like feel it inside me, right? And they can hear it in your voice. When you truly believe in what you're doing and how you combated all the stuff they're going to give you, they're going to listen to you because they're going to hear your voice and they're going to say like, oh my gosh, that makes a lot of sense. So, give yourself the willingness and the ability to work at something consistently. It's going to make a huge difference. One other thing I wanted to say to you was you always have a to-do list, but get rid of your to-do list and make a results list. So I think in general, we have this huge list as women of all the things that we need to do, right? I mean, anywhere from dishes to laundry to cleaning the house to going out and getting groceries and then all the stuff we do in between for getting the kids everywhere. But totally make a results list. Make a results list of the things that you did today, because you're going to realize that instead of looking at this long old list of things you didn't do, look at what you did accomplish. And that's going to make you feel so much stronger every day. And it's all about your mindset and getting into that belief like, hey, I rocked this day, right? So how good would it feel if you looked at a list of 3 things that you did and you totally crushed versus the 15 things that still is looming on you? Because there's always going to be laundry. You're always going to have laundry. There's always going to be dishes. You're never going to have that 100% completed, right? So build that results list. And that those are just some of the things I wanted to share with you that I think have made a big difference in my life.
No, I love it. And it's always good to hear from different people to just see what people are doing. Like the logistics and what we do as coaches, they're all the same. But everybody does things a little bit different and different things work for different people. Mm-hmm. So I love that. And I love the results list because I'm sure every single one of us always, if we don't have like an actual list, we have a list in our head that we need to do a million things every day. And that's kind of just pointless. You might as well just reward yourself and think about like, oh, I didn't do this, but I actually finished this and I did good job at it, did awesome. I always tell my team to have a bare minimum, like, so if 5 invites a day is your bare minimum, do not go to bed until that's done. So that could be totally something you add to your results list instead of being like, oh, I didn't do my power hour today, blah, blah, blah. So like, just have something that you can say that you've accomplished. Does anybody have any questions for Lauren? Whether you're working, like what, because you're still working full time and she has, your daughter's like super involved in dance, like you're busy. It's not like you go to work and come home and do nothing. I think obviously little kids are busy because they're crazy, but I think I've heard that when they get older, sometimes you're more busy because you're driving them around 24/7 to different things. So kind of what does your day look like? Your normal day?
Sure. So I'm up between 5 and 5:30 every morning. It just depends on what time I go to sleep, because sometimes I go to sleep kind of later, just making sure that I get the list done. I get up, I get dressed, I brush my teeth and everything. And while I do that, I'm saying my prayers and I'm saying a gratitude list. So I'm doing what I'm thankful for every day. And it's not like I'm thankful for another day. I'm thankful for the beautiful skies. It's literally like, I am going to be very thankful for my Energize in about 15 minutes. I'm thankful that I was able to get a good night's rest. I'm thankful for that pillow that really helped me between my knees because that workout's been killing my back lately. Those types of things, like seriously, because when you look at things with gratitude, things become so much more a blessing every day. So I start my heart that way. And then when I get downstairs, I throw in my AirPods, listen to some music, and I do a few things around in the kitchen. Gets my head in the right spot, and I make my Energize, and I do a dance party in the morning, and then I come upstairs. So in about 30 minutes, I'm down reading. I get my personal development in. I put in 10 minutes in my Bible study, 10 minutes in my whatever book I'm reading, then I'm ready to work out. So by 6:30, I am usually by about 6:30, I'm done working out. get my kids off to school. My husband and I are able to chat a little bit while he's making lunches. We're getting different kids to where they need to get to, and then we get ready for work and we're out the door. So then my work day is so different every day. It just varies. Some days I get lunches, some days I don't. Some days I will drive to a meeting and get there like 10 minutes early if I don't get a lunch, and I'll connect or do something in the car that way. I'm always trying to find ways to put pockets in my time if I have it. Otherwise, I find myself like it can easily be stuck in the kitchen talking to somebody, and I just need to prioritize what I need to do. I get home in the evening. Usually I have to pick up my daughter. My husband just recently took a new job, so he's in town now. But we then the evening craziness begins. So my son's in football right now. My daughter's in cross country, and I got to get her to dance a lot of the times. So we do a lot of carpool with a lot of people. When my husband's at football, I sometimes make dinner and things like that. But usually around 7:30, 8-ish, we start to settle down. And that's when I like dig into my power hours. So if I didn't get anything accomplished, it's a little bit of a later of a night. But it's usually my hope that I've got at least half my invites done and at least 10 to 20 minutes of connections done, and my expansion is done. So half of my IPAs, I really try to be done by 8. But then I try to add in some extra stuff in the evening. So it just varies, but that's kind of how I try to work it in throughout my day.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I mean, that's like every day. So you just got to remember that sometimes there's different phases of different phases of your life, different phases in your business. And that's just normal. Like when I was going to school and working and trying to work the business, I legit never watched TV ever. Now I have a couple TV shows that I enjoy, and I let myself, it's fine that I do it because I am able to now. But I didn't at the time. Like sometimes you have to sacrifice little things. I didn't go to dinner with friends. I didn't do stuff that took me away from what I actually wanted in life. And I mean, I wasn't perfect at it, but I was pretty dang good about cutting out the things that wasn't going to help me get closer to the things I wanted. So yeah. And it didn't last forever. You know, I feel like those phases don't last forever. Time flies by in 2 seconds. And yeah, I just think that's just awesome. And I love all your little tips. Does anybody have any questions you can unmute yourself if you want, for Lauren? If you guys have any? None? Well, no, I won't keep you, but thank you seriously so much.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love hearing what other people do every day because it makes you realize, one, and like Diana said, it makes you realize that everybody's busy. And I think people glorify the word, oh, I'm too busy. Like I'm successful, or I can't do things because I'm too busy. When I'm like, hey, busy and being productive and actually accomplishing things every day is totally different, you know? So that's what I always think about is, okay, are you busy, or are you actually like doing things that you want, reaching goals, doing stuff? So yeah. Okay. Yeah. So many awesome ideas. And
you guys are so sweet. Thank you.
I think more than anything is just, you don't have to sit, like if you're busy, whether everybody's busy to some degree, but if you literally don't have an hour to sit down and do your power hour, you can get it done. Just make sure that by the time you go to bed, you have done the things. It could have been like 10-minute pockets of stuff you do. Sitting at a stoplight, send a couple voice memos, whatever it is, you know. You don't have to be blasting the music. Instead of blasting music, listen to PD or be sending voice memos. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
again, it's just,
my family laughs at me because they're like, did you hear what happened and blah blah blah, and I'm like, I don't know, what are you talking about? My husband's always like, do you live under a rock? I'm like, I do. I live under a PD rock. It's a nice bubble in here. It keeps me really safe. It keeps me super happy, and that's about all I need in my life. I don't need any of the other stuff in my life. But the season thing is so true, because like right now, about 2 months ago, I was struggling with a few things, and I just like was like, I'm just gonna listen to music today, and then that turned into like 2 days and like 3 days, and the next thing you know, like I was sleeping in, and it all compounds, and so that momentum leaves. and I watched a few shows, and I was like, I am so like out of it. I need to get back into my routine. And the season is so true because I was, like I haven't really watched a show and I don't know how long, but I like my bubble. It helps me, it keeps me focused, it keeps me going on the right path. And so right now when I allow myself to kind of get outside of that, it makes a
You
huge
need to go pee?
So, you just got to do what you have to do, and everyone's different. You just got to work it the way you can and fit everything in, because that's just the way it is.
Yeah. And I think just like if you are somebody that has shows that you love to watch, or you love to go to dinner, or do whatever the things you like to do, use those things as a reward for getting the things done that you need to do. I used to do that all the time. I'll be like, I can go do this and this and this if I get all this done. And it made me like way more efficient. I got it done way faster. And I totally use stuff like that as like rewards for getting my stuff done. Or like when you hit Success Club, then you can go do this. Or when you hit Success Club, you can go buy yourself a shirt or whatever it was. I played these mind games with myself all the time.
Oh, yes. I do that all the time. And that's actually, my family knows that too. Like on the weekends, they'll be like, can we do this? I'm like, yes. But first, I got to get my power hour in. And they're always like, okay, how you doing, Mom? Let's go. We got to get moving. And that helps me because I'm like, you're right. No, I need to stay focused, right? And so sometimes you get distracted and you are like, oh, I'm going to message this person. Are you going to get into this? Nope, I've got to get my stuff done. I throw a timer on. I literally have a timer on all the time. And I love the mind games. Like I'll play mind games with myself all the time. I'm like, okay, I made like 50. I added 50 people in my expanded to 50 people in 5 minutes. Now I'm going to try to hit 60. Like I'm always like, how can I get more? How can I get more? How can I get more connects? Like sometimes Ashley McClellan throws me off because she'll be like, oh, I'm able to get it done in like 22 minutes. And I'm like, I don't even think my fingers work that fast. Like, how do you do it? But like, those are the types of things I'm like, okay, now game on.
So funny. So do you work on Facebook? Abby just asked, how do you find people on Facebook? Do you focus on Facebook still?
Not as much anymore. So it's mainly on Instagram. Instagram's more my jam. I sometimes they convert to Facebook friends. And then sometimes if I'm out and about with new school groups or something like that, then I'll connect with them that way. And I'll do it that way. But mainly and I still do all my posts on Facebook, but I mainly do it on Instagram.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, you can do like just what Diana said. So I'll go to certain people's pages, obviously not coaches, different friends, go to their friends. And lots of times it can see like people you may know under their friends section. Mm-hmm. And I would just add people you have 10 to 20 mutual friends with. And that's more likely to,
yeah.
So that's really kind of, Facebook's a little bit harder to expand, but you totally can. I still get people off Facebook all the time. I don't focus on expanding on Facebook, but I still connect a ton on Facebook to all my friends that I already have. So
yeah, I do connect with people on Facebook too. What's funny is that when I used to do it more so, I connected with friends of friends and not really paying attention to what I did. A lot of people in my community are on my Facebook, or I'm friends with them on Facebook. And now I'll be at events and they're like, oh, Lauren, how are you? And I'm like, my daughter will be like, who is that? I'm like, I know. They're like, oh, I see you on Facebook all the time. And I'm like, I should have connected like outside of my community. And I think like that's kind of like halted me sometimes in my tracks, because I'm like, there's a lot of people in this town that know me and I have no idea who they are. But I still connect with people, and it's just a matter of trying to remember, oh, you're the one that did whatever. No, you know what I mean? So
it's a little awkward because you're like, I know that they know. I have no idea who they are.
Yeah.
Try to play it off, but they know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, yeah. If nobody has any other specific questions, we'll let Lauren go. But seriously, thank you so much again.
You're so
cool. And it's always good to hear from people working or like just different people all the time. So it's super fun. And shared all the goods. So thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You guys are so awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, guys, have a good night. Thanks for hopping on.
Bye.